Now this is pretty wild. We've seen this come all the way down the 5 freeway to the 210 freeway, through Silmar, then through Lakeview Terrace, over the Santa Clarita, the La Crescenta Valley, into Pasadena, off the freeway, back onto the 110 freeway, southbound on the 110 freeway, and onto surface streets through the downtown slot. And now we're in the West Adams area right now, turning back southbound. Southbound, we believe this is western, southbound western from Adams. He's going to be coming into the USC area, looking on up ahead. A little bit more traffic than he's got right now, but traffic for this person is light right now as he turns southbound.
If you were just joining us here, we are watching a pursuit. We're broadcasting to you on KTLA and CBS 2 this morning, bringing you this pursuit. It all began in the Canyon Country area. There are 4 suspects who entered a bank in Canyon Country, Santa Clarita area. They are being pursued in a black Volvo. We don't know exactly what went down in the bank. However, there are reports that they did get away with some cash, because we're receiving reports that they're actually throwing money from the vehicle. One of the 4 suspects is said to have exited the vehicle somewhere in Silmar, and we believe that there are 3 more in the car. Well, you see some more cash going out the window there. It's getting pretty wild here down in the South LA Exposition Park area.
This is unbelievable. That's the second time now in the past few seconds that we've seen that. Derek Bell, you back with us as they're throwing more money out the window?
Yeah, we sure are. We've got to apologize for our angle on this, but Los Angeles Tower is holding us off just a little bit to the east here. He is eastbound 42nd Street, 2 blocks east of Hoover. They're saying still more money coming out the window. He's coming right at us. It looks like he's coming towards the 110 freeway. Perhaps when they get out, get rid of all that money that they'll give up. We just don't know. Still looking at about a half dozen patrol cars directly behind this vehicle.
I don't have a street for you here, but I will try and get one for you here. We're talking to LA Tower, and we're trying to get over to the Harbor Freeway. They have restricted us east of this situation here, and apparently there is money being thrown out of the vehicle here. So the suspect or suspects are throwing money out of the vehicle here. It appears that we may have an additional suspect in the back, so not only the driver, but we do have one additional suspect who may be in the back of that black SUV.
Yeah, we can see that, Mark, and the windows are open. There goes some more being thrown out the window. We assume that that's money being thrown out the back of the vehicle. That's got to be a first for us in many years of covering pursuits. This time we have bank robbery suspects who are taking the money that sheriff's investigators say they stole from a Bank of America in Santa Clarita, and now throwing it out the window. The good news, if there is any here, is that we now have a confirmation, and law enforcement has a confirmation that you have at least a second suspect in the back seat of this vehicle. Tinted windows, and those windows are down. That might be helpful as the investigators and officers and deputies come to get these suspects. But you just saw it again right there. They seem to be throwing the money out of the vehicle. For what purpose? Who knows? I mean, who can get inside of these persons' heads? But there it goes again, money being thrown out of the vehicle.
Tell us about this pursuit. How did this start, and who are we looking at?
Yeah, we're in pursuit of 1 or more armed bank robbers right now. It started this morning at 10:08 at the Bank of America on Soledad Canyon in Santa Clarita Valley, when at least 4 bank robbers hit this bank, and then deputies soon found their vehicle and went in pursuit. 2 of the robbers got out on Yarnell in Silmar, and an additional robber got out on Hubbard in Silmar, and those resulted in chases and foot pursuits from sheriff's deputies. This vehicle pursuit continued to the driver. There's 1 or more people in that car, and as you've seen, they have been throwing what appears to be cash out the window during the pursuit during the last 10 minutes. They're believed to be armed and extremely dangerous, given that they just apparently robbed a bank.
And Captain, do you know what kind of weapons they have? Are we talking about guns?
Yeah, the last report I got was there's at least 1 handgun involved.
And you also mentioned that 2 of the suspects got out on Yarnell, 1 on Hubbard, and there were foot pursuits involved. Were those suspects captured?
I don't have an update yet whether those suspects were captured. Right now, it's growing in the number of scenes that we're handling. You have the bank itself. You have Yarnell, where there would be the deputies chasing 2 suspects, so that's potentially 2 different directions. And then on Hubbard, that would be an additional location. And then the pursuit itself, which now we've added to it, I've watched on your television station what appeared to me 5 or more times that they've thrown cash out the window. I also saw a dark object thrown out. So it appears to me it might be 2 suspects still left in that car.
A second suspect in the back seat who has thrown that money out. We've eyeballed that ourselves. This idea of throwing the money out and we see the folks running out into the street to get it. Clearly, it seems to us an attempt to try to get pedestrians involved in possibly blocking law enforcement as you're trying to pursue these folks. I wanted to ask, with 10 or 12 law enforcement vehicles, now we're up on the sidewalk here, and have any of the pedestrians been injured at this point?
I don't have any reports of pedestrians injured to me. I don't know for whether they did or didn't. You see the suspect now, he's driving on the sidewalk, nearly hitting a fire hydrant. He's within a few feet of hitting pedestrians. But I can tell you this, is if his plan is to throw cash out the window to block us by having pedestrians, we're not going to run, he may run out of money, but we're not going to run out of sheriff's deputies, and we're not going to run out of helicopters.
Right, and it is sickening to see with putting all of these people in danger, and the fact that people are running out into the street for the money that they're throwing from a bank robbery. This has to put pressure on your lead vehicles there as they pursue these folks. Is this something that you can train for?
You know, there's a tremendous amount of pressure on these sheriff's deputies. I've driven in pursuits. I've been a lead in a pursuit before. This is a lot of pressure on these deputies because their goal is that nobody gets hurt and that these suspects get taken into custody. Because if these guys get away and they're willing to do this kind of reckless criminal behavior, robbing banks at gunpoint, throwing cash out a window, driving in a reckless manner and almost killing people, clearly they need to be taken off the streets in the interest of public safety. But these deputies are under a lot of pressure because I'm counting 50 people on a television screen right now that are all within feet of this pursuit that I don't think are thinking this through clearly. Because these people driving the car, they're not deputy sheriffs. They're not going to be careful as they drive by. They're just doing whatever they feel like they have to do to get away.
Right.
And so you saw that car just now on the side of the street. You see some of these sheriff's deputies and police officers are blocking traffic so that the car can get through, so that people come in opposite directions don't get hit or collide with this car.
Well,
he's clearly not obeying the traffic signals.
Captain, I don't know if you can see, but right now it appears as if they've trapped the vehicle and your deputies are out into the vehicle, pulling one of the suspects immediately out of the back seat. We don't know what the suspect driver is doing, but your deputies are moving in right now to bring these.
There's a little bit of a time delay, but I do see what the deputies are doing. They've obviously run up on the car. You have multiple deputies at gunpoint. You see a woman running around with a little dog. I'm glad she picked up the dog and got out of there. And I'm watching, as you are, as one suspect is being taken out of the front seat and a second suspect is being taken out of the back seat. Deputies are this is a lot of pressure on these deputies because you've also got hundreds of people surrounding them. That's a lot to be distracted by as you're trying to do your job.
Absolutely, because you not only have the immediate concern of what's happening there with the suspects, you have a perimeter that is moving in on the sheriff's deputies who are trying their best to both make the arrest and protect the public, a public that is surging forward. If you can see our picture, Captain, you see this public surrounding these sheriff's deputies.
Indeed, that vehicle just came to a stop and that stopped the entire pursuit right there. Dangerous situation indeed with the armed robbery suspects there and officers with their weapons drawn. If there, of course, had been any gunfire, got to believe that there has been a lot of people that would have been in the crossfire situation. Luckily, this all came to a peaceful conclusion right here, just one block west of Vermont.
If you're wondering why so many people are out in the street, it's because that numerous times, according to our helicopter pilot Derek Bell, who was overhead in Sky 9, at least a dozen times they threw cash out of the window. So people were watching that here on KTLA 9, coming out into the streets, and we did see some people picking up cash. So all of these people gathering to see what was going on, and you can see now the Sheriff's Department trying to bring this crowd not under control, but trying to disperse them and send them back on their way.